Friday. Welcome to a new episode of Unspoken Truth. I'm your host, Denise. What it do? It's cold outside, y'all. It's snowing a little bit too, so y'all make sure y'all be careful out there. Tonight's topic is be the reason why people believe. Listen, man. This topic I think gonna be real beneficial to me and my guest, which just so happens to be one of my daughters, Jalyn. Hey man, I don't know who this episode gonna be for besides me, but I think it was a wise choice for us to go with this topic tonight. Be the reason why people believe. Um, I've done a whole bunch of topics on a variety of things, but I think it all boils down to me first learning how to be the example first before I'm ever supposed to expect somebody to follow, to listen, to like, to share, to comment. It won't happen no other way. So I think this topic is very fitting for tonight because, like I said, my guest is my daughter. Um, Jalyn, what do you think is some qualities that somebody would possess that wants to exude or be the example or the reason why people believe?
Um, well, first I would start by saying hello, everyone. I am Jalyn. Um, I would just say a quality I feel like people should have, or someone should have when they want to be an example for someone, would have to be integrity, uh, honesty,
Mm,
a sense of awareness with not only themselves but with others. You can't help someone believe if you don't know what they're going through.
mm.
Um,
Whew. Yeah, listen, I hope y'all caught this. She said you can't help nobody if you don't know what they going through. Do you feel like people cross each other's paths for a reason? Like, do
we
you
are
feel like it's exchange of some kind where it's like I'm either supposed to be learning something or I'm supposed to be teaching something? Do you feel like that's pretty much how life go?
most definitely. I feel like everything in this life is a learning or teaching moment,
Whew,
no matter who it comes from.
and it's my child talking. This whole life, everything about it and everything it consists of is a learning lesson or a teaching. Okay. For those that don't know, my daughter is a teacher to preschoolers. I would say this is the beginning of them having the education foundation. Would you agree? Before they get in elementary, before they start kindergarten, before they even start learning all the different steps it's going to take for them to elevate from K through 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you get them at the beginning before anything else is able to taint or corrupt or whatever with their growth, stunt or help aid in them growing, correct? So, what is some things that you do as their educator? Because I don't like using the word teacher. There's a whole bunch of people out here that got the title, but they ain't putting in the work. So let's talk about that after we discuss what do you feel like as the educator is some things that you do for the kids that's going to teach them reasons why they need to believe, even as a little itty bitty child?
Um, some things that I try to do is speak life into them,
Mm,
especially because I never know what's going on at home. Like, I mean, I know how my home was as a kid, and it wasn't rough or bad or anything. I don't really recall having to experience that as a kid. But now in this new day and age, it's different for them. The parenting has gotten a little lazy. So I want to be the person that lets them know there's still light in this world. It ain't dark everywhere you go. Like you safe here. Like
mm,
I want to be the gentle teacher. Like sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's like you have to be aggressive, and I'm pretty sure that's because of how parents are at home, aggressive, rough.
mm.
Um, so that kind of makes it hard. But I try to always circle back like with affirmations, speaking life. Like that's something big for me.
And so, where did you get that from? Like, again, for those who just join in that don't even know what we talking about or who you are, you my child. So where did you get that from? Where you realized that that was important or necessary for everybody to
Um,
have, not just the kids that you taking care of 5 days a week. Where did you get it from?
I would say it was a number of places.
Okay.
Um, I got it from different books I've read.
Mm,
Um, my business partners. That's something big that they are on. Speaking life into yourself and to others, and to your family and those around you. Um, my mom, my sister. That's something that we were really big into. Um, so it was just a number of places, a number of things.
mhm. But I would say like something had something had to be embedded in you early on though, because I recall y'all helping me walk myself back to God when y'all was younger. You, your sister, your brother, y'all was adamant. Whether or not we all are on the same page today, that was a pivotal moment right there where I I knew who he was. I was raised up learning, hearing, being taught certain things growing up. But at a certain point within your childhood, y'all helped me get back on track to connecting myself back to what I knew already, but was like far removed from. If that makes sense to you, like I knew who God was. I've experienced him in my life over and over. So I knew that there was somebody bigger, higher than me, even as your mother. Like I knew. But that had to come early in your life for you to know that that's something that's important or pivotal for these kids today who you say you don't know what's going on at home, right? So where did it all begin? Like who started instilling certain things in you so that you know that there is a God? Because there's a lot of people who they, hey, I'm unsure. I think sometimes a lot of us get caught up in names and titles, but we talking about what you can see, what you conscious of within yourself, knowing like, hey, this ain't me, this ain't nobody I know. It have to be something bigger than us. So where did that come from? Because that's the foundation. You can't teach or feed nothing to nobody else unless you have a solid foundation for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like where did that come from? Where you were like you mentioned me, you mentioned your sister, you mentioned your business partners and different books and stuff that you done read that let you know like it's okay. This is something that's important for me to be able to do for myself, let alone feed or give or serve to somebody else. So like where did it come from?
Um, I would say being in the church, reading my Bible, learning like what God is, what His purpose is, like what He wants us to do. Like, He does not want us to be mean to each other. He doesn't want us to degrade each other. He wants us to be empowering each other, lifting each other up. So if I can be the person that's doing the opposite of what others are believing is what we're supposed to be doing, because I know that His word says this is what we're supposed to do. This is what will bring you what you're looking for the right way versus degrading and stealing and hurting others to get what you want. Then I will do that. I'm okay with that.
Versus all the stuff that this world ask or think that you supposed to be doing. I think that's easy. I think that's simple. Me personally, I don't believe that God is requiring a whole lot of us
Mm-hmm.
as His children, as His people, versus what the world asks for when it comes to things that don't even matter. Because when it's all said and done, none of those things is gonna matter, exist, be talked about, discussed, or nothing, right? Your bills, your house, your car, your job, your this, your that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus God only requiring a few things of you. He wants you to acknowledge Him, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He wants you to tell somebody about Him, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He wants you to learn His way, not yours.
Mm-hmm.
But I just listed almost 10 things that the world wants you to do, wants you to focus on, want that to be your foundation and your standard, right? The scale like this, when you really look at it, the scale like this. This is what God is asking us and requiring of us over here. And this is the world and all the stuff it's keeping us distracted about over here. Yo, this right here is this easy, right? So we think based off of what we can see, right? But that's not accurate. That's not fact. It's easier for you to do all of these things over here, right? Because somebody told you to do it, correct? Versus you choosing to do the few little things that's over here that's already in you. Do you follow what I'm saying when I say that? Like, we know right from wrong, everybody, right? This is the third episode in a row that I've done where I talked about us looking for everything that we need outside of us instead of going within, because that's where it's at. right? Whatever it is that you feel like you need in the flesh, it's already in you. You already possess it. You got to figure out how to unlock that so then you can apply it, so you can utilize it. Does that make sense? So you said being in the church was pretty much where it started,
Mhm.
where you decided, like, hey, listen, God said that I only need to do the following things. And that's easy versus me choosing to do everything outside of those few things that God is asking me to do. Because in the end, He get the first and the last say so, right? With your life, with your existence. But yet we find ourselves doing everything else but that. And then telling ourselves that that's easy. But it's much more harder for you to do what's right versus what's easy. Do you agree with that?
Mhm.
Because I it's easy for me to do something that's easy. But it's a little more complicated. It takes intention. It takes accountability. It takes what you said, awareness for you to do what's right versus what's easy. It took me a minute to figure it out. That man, us, people, humans, make this thing way more complicated and harder than it have to be. Just because we was told that we can do a little something in life. Does that register with people saying something about free will,
Mhm.
right? So we think because that's given to us that we won't suffer no consequences behind choosing to do that instead of what we know is right. It simply don't work that way. It just don't work that way. I'm not giving you something in return of nothing. Does that make sense to you? God is giving us a chance to be able to do whatever it is we want to do. Cause He already know who we is and what we capable of. Cause He know our heart. This is where everything stems from anyway. What we gonna do and not do. It's already in there. We 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 already capable of all of those things already. Nobody has to go outside of themselves looking for what's already in them from birth. The thought process of I'm gonna do what I want to do or do what I know is right. The what's right is the God within us. That's how we know. Who who gave that to us? When you really stop and think about it, this is my child sitting here telling you like, well, I was exposed to certain things, whether it be my mother or my grandparents or my business partners or whatever, that brought me closer to God. But who started it all then? If it's nobody bigger or greater than us, who started it all? I certainly didn't. I'm not the first person in the world. My child ain't the first child in the world. Who started it all?
Let me ask you something. When someone is trying to get you to believe, what draws you into believing them? What makes you believe someone?
I think because this is I'm gonna give a two-part answer because I think a lot of people their beliefs came from their parents or the environment in which they was in, and it don't necessarily have no fact behind it, if that makes any sense. No truth, because somebody just told it to you, and so you just ran with it. A lot of us come from that. A lot of us come from that. But then you have people who, like me, it's a feeling for me. It's a feeling. I know when somebody is BSing me, and I know when somebody is being genuine and intentional because I can feel it. Same way I can feel it when you BSing me. I can feel it. Some people would associate the hairs on the back of their neck standing up when they encounter certain things. Have you ever experienced that? Where perhaps the hairs on your arms, not necessarily the hair on the back of your neck, but something inside of you, you can feel it. That something is either intentional or something ain't right, but you can feel it in your body.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a stomach queasy
Mm,
or maybe chills. I
mm,
would say I'm more. It's like my stomach drop. Like,
mm. Like perhaps you on a ride, an uneasy feeling.
yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that because a lot of people will dismiss that. They'll say, "Oh, okay, it might have been something I ate." No, we're not talking about food. We talking about a feeling, something that was already placed inside of us from the beginning. That intuition, that gut feeling. We talking about that. How you gonna question that? But we do. But why? Why do we choose to question that when that's the very part of us that's God? Because we can fool everybody else around us. We can tell people whatever we want. But you can't play those same games when it comes to the creator. You can't. Because he already know you just as much as you think you know yourself. He know you already. You ain't fooling him by hiding or doing certain things you think he can't see. He see and know all. He's everywhere. Not just at the church, not just in your little space you keep for yourself where you go pray and you connect. No, he's everywhere. So you'll find a lot of people be out here think they getting away with something because they behind closed doors.
Go ahead, ask your question.
Dre the Great. What's up? Go ahead. I'm really he been trying to catch me for a couple of weeks. I'm so glad that you was able to make it today. Shoot, you really can hop in the box if you want, so then you don't have to type.
Oh, that might be what that is.
No, that I think that was your grandma. That's
Um,
your grandma, cause she in here too.
how many situations you been through before you started?
The podcast, you mean? Well, let's talk about it.
What's happening?
Hey, Dre.
Hold on, I don't know what's up with my camera. Hold on, let me
Press
turn
the
it.
It's okay.
I see you a little
I
bit.
see you a
Hold on,
little bit, but it's dark.
yeah, no, yeah. Let me turn my program don't know if you can see. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, you okay? You okay?
Bro.
So when you say how many situations have I been through before I started this, you mean the podcast?
No, you know, I say that based on, you know, a lot of people say intuition,
Mhm.
as far as women. A lot of times women have those intuitions, but they ignore 'em based on certain who a person is, if you will, right?
Okay. Okay.
So my question to you is, how long did it take for you to understand your intuition before you understood where you at today? How
Oh,
many how many how many situations?
oh,
Okay, I get what
it's
you're
been a
saying.
lot. It's been a lot, and this is what part of the reason why I even started this platform to begin with, because I had so much stuff I had let bottle up inside of me. I needed to get it out. I needed to vent. I needed to release. I needed to speak. Um, and it pretty much started from that. I've been married. I've been divorced for over a decade. Like I've been through things that let me know, like, hey, you possess a certain intuition and power. That's your power as a woman. You don't dismiss that. Because every time that I did dismiss that, I paid on the back end. When I already knew within myself from the beginning that it wasn't right or that something was up. I've done an episode with a previous significant other of mine where I found out everything about him just by tapping in with myself
Righteous. I
and,
hear you.
and, and God and just asking certain questions because we don't always see what we need to see with our eyes, if that make any sense. I knew
That makes
something
sense.
wasn't right, but I couldn't put my finger on it. So instead of me going to ask my friends or my parents or anybody else, I know I'm going to sit with myself and I'm going to talk to God. And I'm going to ask
Right.
him, what is it that I need to show me? Show me what I can't see. Because I'm just like anybody else. I miss stuff. I may it may be due to ignorance or just lack of information. But I'm human still. Show me what I need to see. And I'm not even playing with less than a week after I said that. Oh, he started exposing everything. Everything. Like stuff that I asked for that I didn't even know. I didn't even want it, but it was too late because that's the thing with us and God. We could determine how much of something we gonna take or tolerate or withstand with another human being. But when you start asking God for clarity, you can't stop him from showing it to you. It's too late. He gonna make you stand on what you asked for. That's how I got to where I'm at now because I got tired of busting my head up upside the wall when I already knew what was going to happen. Sometimes we are victim to our own patterns, and everybody got a pattern. This is
Yeah.
what I had to
That's
realize.
good.
I had to realize, like, listen, you come from a certain pattern, but then you've ultimately created your own. And that all of these patterns is entangled together. You either going to continue the path that you on with these two entangled patterns, one that was created before your birth and one you done created since you've been here, or you gonna decide, hey, wait a minute, I don't want to take that route.
Right.
Because that's where I'm at now. I don't want to take that route because I already know what's at the end of that. See, after you go through so much stuff multiple times, You supposed to be learning from these experiences.
Yeah.
This is why we end up in the same classroom, taking the same test with the same teacher. And then we be mad. We mad. What you mad for? You sat down and took the test and you bubbled in the wrong answers when you knew the right ones.
So let me ask you this. Um, if that right one come, how you gonna detect if he's right, or are you gonna treat him like he's that other one
No,
that did you
because see,
wrong?
let me explain. You can't. The part of you treating that other person like the previous person is because you still ain't healed from that. You still wounded. And that's part of
What
our
takes some
that
healing?
you have to heal that thing. With in turn, you have to forgive that person. And most people will say, I ain't forgiving nobody, but they fail to realize that that's for you. So you can be released from that thing. Not for them. You don't need their permission for you to release yourself from them.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's your God given right. When I'm done, I'm done.
Absolutely.
You can't make me stick around, but what I can tell you about when the right person come around, because I'm currently in this situation right now, I'm still going to do the same thing and take it to God. Because I need to be sure. We are foolish creatures, man. We do things that we think is right for us. But if everybody knew what was right for them, then everybody would be happy. Nobody will be out here confused. It wouldn't be chaos because everybody would be operating on a certain frequency that would take over the world. And that's the frequency of love. No matter what is going on around us, love supersedes everything. Your bad behavior, your mood swings, your relationship issues, your issues and traumas that you done went through, the problems with your parents and your kids. Love supersedes all of that. All of it. If you let it. But if you one of them people who you stuck on, you're not gonna grow and you're not gonna move forward when you won't let whatever was going on go. We have to. I know this is might not be a good analogy to use, but a snake sheds their skin. Not so they could turn into something else, no, so they can be new. But they still a snake. That's how you should be looking at your growth, is what I'm saying. You gonna have to let some stuff go. Why? Because I need to make room for what I want for real. Not what I've been through, not what somebody did to me. I need to make room for what God trying to do for me. But if my hands full of everything I've been through, I ain't got no hands to catch nothing that he trying to give me. So this is how we mess up when the right one come around, because we don't be ready. Because we don't be ready. And then then we
talked about
woo. And so then we, oh, that's so good,
and
God. Go ahead, use me, God. Wait a minute.
Stop asking for stuff when you know you're not prepared for.
Woo, God, go ahead, use me, God, because I'm just a vessel. This is what we do. We sit here and we pray about all this stuff. God, can you give me this? God, can you do this? God, can you help me out? God, can you do? And then when he started doing it, we like this. Wait, hold on. I need a little more time. You shouldn't even fix your lips to even ask him for nothing if you think you gonna determine when he gonna give it to you. That's our problem. We think we in control. of when, how, where, and who. And we not.
Right.
Because this ain't our work. We here temporarily, man. We here temporarily, man. We
only visitors passing through.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And so this is why I feed myself this. If you're not ready, say that first before I go saying, "Oh well, God, I want and can you and this and that." No, amen. I need to sit with myself first, so I can really understand if this is what I want before I go start pledging and chanting and begging and praying and all. Cause we do all this stuff. We
The Bible say remove self and put me
because everything belongs to him.
in. Yeah,
That's the whole thing. We think we own something. We think we in control of something. We think we can set the stage for something. We think some of us is so foolish that we think we got. With some of the things we do and some of the stuff we say and some of the places we be and some of the people we be connected to, we think that we can do what he do. We can't. We can't. And if we do, it's only because he using us to do it. It ain't because we woke up and now we superior over all, because there is no such thing. We still in the image of him. Everything about us is him.
Absolutely.
And this is why me and my daughter were just talking before you hopped in the box, telling her this the third episode that I did where I done said to people, we will go looking for everything that we need within ourselves, outside of ourselves, and then get pissed off. You, God walking around the emoji like this at us. Because what are you doing? He never told us that it was going to be outside of us. Not nowhere is it written that he said that the best way to align and connect with him was going to be outside of you. He never said that. He never said that. That's why people don't believe, because they won't even try to connect within themselves. He is already in us. We sitting here thinking we waiting on him. No, he waiting on us.
Absolutely right.
He waiting on us. He don't need us for nothing other than to follow through with what's already written.
He got all things and everything is in his hands.
Hello.
He's just waiting for us to submit.
Precisely. And we will keep doing all that. I did it for a long time. Running. But see, what we think is running from ourselves, we don't realize that that's running from God. Now, how you going to do that? And then wherever we run into, when we run out of steam, when we can't go no further, when we thirsty and we need to stop, who is the first person that we start asking for?
You can run all your life, but once you stop, you still gonna be there.
So that's my point in saying you running from yourself is ultimately you running from God. You running from him. And he busy keep trying to get you to run to him. And you like, nope, I'm nope. That's why we suffer. Because it's, first of all, who told us that something that causes us to have to run from it is good for us? Huh? Who told us that? Because to me, it's a trauma response. Because if somebody is running from me, that means they don't want me and they not no good for me. I can see that. That's simple. It don't take no rocket scientist to figure this out. That's simple. That's clear. But why would that be the choice that we choose versus running towards him? These is questions that I've had to ask myself. Because until you start getting real with yourself, you what? You ain't doing nothing but playing games. Because God know when you for real and when you ain't. He know. Oh, you in that little situation, so this why you called on me. But what about when one nothing going on? Everything was going good. You ain't have nothing to say to me. This why we suffer. I'm telling you, because that's what a lot of us do it. It's human nature. We ask for all this stuff, God give it to us, then we think we ain't got to include him no more in our life. Is you crazy? Is you crazy? And I'm talking about people, places, and things. The moment you get cocky, the moment you don't be humble, the moment you don't feel like you got to be grateful and appreciative for what he already gave you, he about to swoop in and steal all of it. He finna strip you butt naked. He finna make you start over from scratch. How do I know? Because it happened to me. It happened to me. I know why people think me. I look like I was well put together. They don't know what God was doing to me on the inside. I had on clothes, but in front of him, I was naked. You don't want to include me. I'm about to show you. You find somebody else to play with, don't play with me. Whoa, I had to humble myself. I had to get myself together. It's better for you to humble yourself than you let God do it. I tell it to my kids all the time. When God get on you, when he get to working on you, hey man, your chin be open, meat be hanging, you be bruised up, you be scarred, you be hurt, like really hurt.
He worse than karma.
You think that the stuff that you self-inflict or bring upon yourself hurt, no. When he come holler at you, it no. Nobody can make it feel like he make it feel.
Right.
All of these things it is the reason why people ought to believe. Ain't nothing by chance. This ain't no coinky dink why things is going on around us or to us or to the people we love.
What's divine healing?
When you decide that you're going to have an equal balance of masculine and feminine energy because all parties possess it. Some people is operating more in they masculine than they is they feminine. That's an imbalance. That's an imbalance. You that like saying that you gonna be, if I clip off your big toe right now, you gonna be able to walk. You ain't. Because this is how important the big toe is to your foot, to your balance. To you being able to put one foot in front of the other. You divine healing is you deciding like I'm gonna take care of every area of myself. Cause I got some issues in all the areas. My mental ain't all the way intact. My emotions ain't stable. My physical, I got ailments. I'm gonna decide I'm gonna take care of all of it. Because if you don't, you work on one part and forget about the rest, you ain't healed. You still a work in progress, baby. And all of us is that. Nobody is greater or better. We all is that. We all out here trying to figure it out. You know why? Because
we all come short of the glory of God.
Mhm. But he know that. That's why he allows it. He could have made things be what he wanted it to be.
Right.
He could have made us suffer more than he give us. Man, he's so gracious. He's so generous.
Merciful.
He's so loyal.
He's a merciful God.
Man. On time. Not our time. That's our problem because we think we in control. We not in control. We on his time.
Divine timing.
Divine time. Oh, you heard her. She said divine timing. Because it had to happen.
Yeah.
It have to happen. It's not on our timing. We want so desperately to be in control like that, but we not, man. I'm going to keep saying that I'm just a vessel. Me and my daughter sat here and brainstormed for a while before we decided what topic we was going to discuss. Why? Because I stopped trying to live ahead of myself. If I'm going to be a vessel and I'm going to let God use me, then I go to him when I'm blank. All right, God, I don't know what the heck. You know what you want me to say. You know what you want me to do, how you want me to do it, who you want me to tell it to. You know that already. All I got to do is sit down. All I got to do is sit down, turn the camera on, pull the microphone up, and he just he doing all of this. This ain't me.
See, I'm here for a reason. And not to knock you off of your topic, but I want to hear the back end. Not tonight, but I want to hear the back end because you got a testimony that's probably going to heal me from certain things that I'm going through. But I want you to stay on topic tonight. And I'm going to come back in a little later. See, I've been tapping in with you, but I couldn't catch you.
I know I told my daughter that before she accepted the request. I said, oh, Dre the Great, he been trying to get in here for a while. I appreciate you. I do. Because, I mean, it's people like you. Like, I done been in places, met a person one time, haven't frequent that place in a while, going there again, that same person in there. Like, I've been following you on your YouTube. Like, I've been checking out your content. Like, don't stop doing what you're doing. I don't know them before me saying, hey, follow me. I'll do a podcast. Like, I'm doing this because we live in a world where nobody can speak their peace. Nobody can walk in their truth. Nobody can stand in it. Somebody always got something to say. Hey, I can't do nothing but tell my truth. What else I'm going to tell? Because if I tell anything outside of that, then that's a story. That's fictitious. That ain't real. So at the end of the day, why? Why can't we have a space where everybody be able to speak from their heart and ain't nobody bashing them or beating them upside the head about what they've been through or what their experiences was or what somebody did to them or how somebody made them feel? Why can't we?
Hold on, I gotta go to little boy's room. You go and talk to him. I'll get back.
Okay, I'll get back with you. Thank you for coming in. But yeah, like, why can't we? That's why I do this thing. Because I realized that because I didn't have a me, I needed to become the me for other people. I not because I wanted to. No, this is the way God set it up. I'm just following suit. I'm just trying to go move accordingly to what I'm being shown. Cause it was a vision and a blueprint long before now. People been telling me to do this thing for years. Like you need to be you. Everybody out here talking about stuff that don't nobody really care about, that don't even matter, that don't resonate with nobody. It's just something for somebody to be able to say, talk about, discuss. That's why I do this. Because somebody was gonna have to break the barriers. Somebody. Somebody. Why can't it be me?
What's one thing y'all believe in? What's one thing that makes y'all believe in what someone says or do for you? What causes that? What causes you to believe in someone?
Sorry about that.
No, you could.
I heard you yelling all the way in the little boy's room. But go ahead. I'm listening for sure. Yep, I'm listening. But the Bible say, the prayers of the righteous availeth much. We as us being, I don't know how long you been. I raised in the church. I've been playing drums for 20 some years, so I was raised in the Church of God in Christ, since I was 8 years old. So I know the word, and even the devil know the word. Don't get it twisted, you know. But when you standing on business, and trust me, I found out, 42 years of my life. I'm 42 years old. The 42 years of my life, I do a lot in the community. Like I do things for. I don't want to brag. I'm not bragging, but I just want to give a back story of what I do. So, I Habitat. I donate my time. You know, every Saturday or every other Saturday, or throughout the week if I can. I'm a teacher at a school, so I do all these things to give back. Now, before that, I was a gangbanger. You know, I was a 111 Crip. You know, I was a knucklehead doing all that weird stuff. That the kids do. You know, but the Lord delivered me, and He brought me back to my roots. And now,
so good.
I'm gonna tell you something. And I feed the homeless now. I just give back because it's necessary. We be trying to figure out where we come from. We come from us being reckless. Now it's time to go be uh, progress and helping others and doing things for others. Our healing comes from others.
If you A lot. Oh man. And I learned this a few years back from these same business partners that my daughter was just talking about. Hey man,
Mm-hmm.
if you take the spotlight off yourself and put it on somebody else,
Yeah. Yep.
whatever stupid stuff that you was stressing and fussing about don't matter, because your feeling of self-worth comes from you being a servant to other people. It don't come from nothing else.
Yep.
But we'll be
Yep.
foolish and think all the stuff in the world, the materialistic things, all of that stuff, man. No, it don't.
It
No,
don't
it
matter.
don't.
It
Because
don't
at the
matter.
end of the day, I will say it again, we on borrowed time.
Well, bro, tell
Your mission is to figure out what your purpose is and
me. Yep.
go do that. See, when you
Shoot.
been given, see, you talking about when God give you a second chance, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know being a gangbanger could have landed you two different places. How do I know? Because I was in the streets too.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I was in the streets too, and I understand. Like, oh, okay, two things can happen. I can go to jail or I can be killed.
Yep. You can knock me down at any time.
Some of us, we on our seventh, eighth, ninth life around this boy, because God then sustained us so many times where we thought like, yeah, this the end.
I got some stories, man.
Me
Just
too.
don't know.
Sure do. Me too. Because I just turned 43 years old. Me too. I've been
Just
through
took me
some
about a
things.
year.
And a lot of people will be like, when I tell my kids stories, because I would say that that's when I started to believe the power of sharing,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
important. I didn't come from that. My
Please.
mama didn't share nothing. She wasn't trying to tell me what her struggles and defeats and victories was. A majority of our parents did not do that for us.
Right.
But that's the disconnect. Because this is the same child almost 3 years ago. I did an episode with her with what's the differences between generations. And what the
Elaborate.
conclusion of that
Okay.
was
Okay.
lack of sharing and information. Not nothing else that the world done told us, or that it's because they this and we that. No, no. It's lack of information. Because if they knew the stuff that we know right now, they wouldn't have done the things that they did. Because they would have realized that it was not going to be effective and it was not about to move us forward. But they didn't. But we do. So now we in control of the next couple generations,
And break
either
that cycle.
repeating the same shit they did
Break
or
that
us
cycle.
applying and utilizing the information that we currently know. Because this is the era of information. I don't want to hear nobody talking about, well, how do you do this? I don't want to hear that. Because there's plenty of websites out here that you can type in a question and they will lead you in the right direction.
And Google is not the right
I
direction.
ain't talking about Google. So we could go ahead and throw that out of here. Because people who post on Google don't even have to be truthful. We know that. That's why if you in college and you have to write a term paper and they ask you where did you get your information from, your reference, use Google and see what kind of grade you gonna get. And my kids was dealing with that in high school. So I know for a fact that it's mandatory in college. You better not put Google on there. You're gonna fail. That paper is gonna be an F. Because anybody could get on there and write something which will be considered a review. It's not facts. It don't make it true because you wrote it. But I so appreciate y'all. Look, I don't know, like I said in the beginning, who this episode was for or who needed to hear what was said, but I hope that you got exactly what you was looking for. I love y'all. I will see y'all on Tuesday, okay? 11 a.m. for a mini episode of Unspoken Truth. Peace.